Hi friends, a few people recently have been asking me for advice on how to gain RP and rank up faster in Apex Legends Season 7 Ranked. So I've put together this video to give my advice on how you can gain RP and rank up in ranked gameplay on Apex Legends Season 7 much faster. Obviously we're on Olympus for this split in Season 7, so I'll try and give you a few tips that work well for Olympus, and I'll talk through the main strategies you need to think about to allow you to gain RP and rank up faster. Before I get started, I know I've said this in the past couple of videos, but we're so close to 1000 subs on this channel, so I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that big red subscribe button and join the community. Let's grow this channel together. Anyway, on to today's video. So, there'll always be situations where you get an easy lobby and you can just run around fighting loads of different squads, killing them, gaining RP, winning the games. You will have plenty of those, particularly in the lower levels of ranked, through bronze, silver and gold. But you'll get to a point ultimately where you realise you're playing at the same level as everyone else in your lobby, and you're not getting the success by just running around. That's when you want to start thinking about what can you do to act more strategically and actually gain RP and rank up. When you get to that stage, I would say there's two main strategies you need to think about. Let me talk you through these main strategies, and then I'll give you some general ranked tips that you can use to also help you get more RP and rank up faster. So the first strategy is land early in a place with one or two other squads, grab some early loot and start the fight early. This should allow you to get some early kills and then play safe for the rest of the game. When you get to the final 3, then you can get your final eliminations and win the game. In theory, this strategy will allow you to get your 5 kills or assists that you need to get for max points, and also maximum placement points. This strategy is effective because while you're working with low loot at the start, so are your enemies, and you're kind of putting your hands in the loot gods, if you like. But on the same side, if you come up against a predator this early, and you get a weapon in a supply bin, and they don't, even though it's a predator, you'll probably get an easy kill there. So with this strategy, you should end up with a few early kills, and this then takes the pressure off the rest of the round for you. It means you can play it safe, just keep rotating and moving, trying to avoid other squads, till you get to the final, let's say top 5 or top 3, and then you can just move in closer to the ring and take out the final squads to get your win. It also means that there's less risk of losing points, because even if you die outside the top 10, those early kills should at least give you some points, so you're not losing max points. And typically playing safe to the end of the game when you've got those early kills is a lot easier than trying to get kills at the end of the game. So that's the first strategy. The second strategy is actually to land later and play a safer game at the start. Of course there's a risk with the first strategy that you will die early on and lose max points. But with the second strategy, if you land a bit later, try to see where squads are going and land in a place without squads. Then you can focus on getting the best loot you can and play the game slowly until you reach the top 10. Don't specifically look for fights, focus more on rotating to the ring and trying to find the best loot that you can. And then once you get into the top 5, let's say, that's when you have your battles, that's when you pick up your 5 kills or assists that you need to max out those points. So this strategy is clearly better for getting placement points, but it does mean that you won't have any kills to fall back on or assists should you die before you reach the top 10 or the top 5 or even the top 3. But if you can wait to the end and get kills at the end, then you're giving yourself a better chance of getting points from placements, but also kills and or assists. Especially if you have a Crypto or a Bloodhound in your team, then you can use this as a good strategy because they can scan and tell you if enemies are nearby, and then you can change the way you're rotating into the ring, and that will allow you to survive for longer, like I said, till you get into those placement points. And then you can go a little bit more aggressive and start fighting other squads. Now with both of these strategies, you can of course pick up kills and assists as you're moving into the ring, and if there's a fight that you have to take, you have no chance to avoid, then of course take that fight. But it's normally a good idea to land with one of these two strategies in your head, because that gives you some structure to then when you move through the round and through the game, you'll know what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to achieve those early fights, then you can be a bit more aggressive and get into the fights early. If you're playing the second strategy and you're trying to play for placement points and getting those kills and assists later on in the game, then you know you want to play a bit more reserved and don't go to busy places. So when you rotate, avoid those busy places, and don't take early fights. If you know there's a squad ahead of you, change the way you're rotating and move to a different direction. So these are the two main strategies. Within these strategies though, there are some general tips that you can also use to help you gain more RP. My first general tip is focus on getting 5 assists or kills. So whether you're using the first strategy or the second strategy, you always want to see if you can get and do your best to get 5 kills or assists, because that's the maximum amount of points you can get for kills or assists in any one ranked game. And whether you're doing it at the start or at the end, you still want to think about getting those 5. But it's also important to think about those 5 and not necessarily think about more. Once you've got those 5, try and treat that as a cut-off point, and then focus it more on rotation and surviving for as long as you can. Because you only get a 5 max, there's no point trying to get 10 kills yourself, or 10 assists. Once you've hit your 5, start thinking about rotating in the ring and surviving for as long as you can. Tip 2, and this is particularly relevant for Olympus. Try to have 1 mid to long range weapon and 1 close range weapon. With the amount of space on Olympus, you really do want a mid to long range weapon, because it will allow you to see and pick off teams that are moving around, and it also means you're not getting stuck into fights too early on, because that's a recipe for third parties. And we know on Olympus, it's such a third party heavy map, given that it's so easy to move around the map on Olympus. Check out my tier list video for weapons, which I recently released. You can find it on my channel, but generally for long range weapons, I would recommend the Hemlock or a G7 as opposed to an actual sniper, because they offer a good balance. Tip 3, rotate. Keep moving. It's really simple, I know, but it's one that's so true for Olympus. Because it's so easy to move through the map on Olympus, teams can end up just piling up in one place very quickly and very easily. And if you're just sat in one place, you're almost guaranteed to be attacked by other teams. And not just other teams, multiple teams, potentially at the same time. And if you're really trying to think about how to gain RP and rank up faster, then you don't really want to be stuck in multiple battles at the same time. Therefore, it's a good idea to just keep moving around the map, rotating to the ring, and trying to pick your positions. Even after you win a battle, don't stick around, loot up quick and then move on, because other teams will definitely have heard that battle and potentially moving towards your location. So it's a good idea to just keep moving. Tip 4. Have a movement based legend on your team. Again, another one that is essential for Olympus. With the map being so open and the fact that you do want to be and need to be moving around a lot quicker, it's a good idea to have a movement based legend with a movement based ability in the team, whether that be a Wraith or a Pathfinder, who are the obvious ones, or a Horizon, who offers slightly more verticality compared to some others. I'll do a separate video on the best team compositions for ranked to cover this in more detail, but do have a think about having a movement based legend on your team for sure. Tip 5. Thirst your kills. Again, it may seem simple, but I see a lot of people not thirsting their kills, and it's very easy to get third partied on Olympus. It's also very easy to get killed by the remaining team members, and if that happens when you've already downed someone, then you don't get the kill or assist for that. So what you really want to be doing is, if it's safe and you think you can thirst them without being shot or downed, then thirst them, get your points on the table, and then push the remaining team members. It's the best way to do it to rack up your points quickly, because I've seen so many people not thirsting their kills, and then they get killed later on, perhaps by the remaining team members or another squad, and you lose your kill. Tip 6. Pick some favourite landing places and stick to them. It's a good idea to pick landing places that you typically always go to on different sides of the map, so then depending on the dropship's path, you know exactly where you're going to land. It's also a good idea to have set buildings that your teammates go to, so you all have different loot, and you're not looting on top of each other. So those are my general tips that really should help you gain RP and rank up faster in Apex Legends Season 7. I do believe these tips work best with a pre-made squad, so if you're playing ranked with your friends and you've got a pre-made squad, then I think these tips should really work well for you. You can discuss the strategies with your team and make sure you're all on the same page. I do think there are slightly different things to think about when you're a solo, so I'll make a separate solo video for how to rank up as a solo. I will say one more thing for this video though. When you get to the final 3, or actually in any fight, don't get third partied, be the third party. If you know 2 teams are near you, try and encourage them or let them fight first, and then be the team that moves in and gets the third party. If you're the squad that's fighting, and even if you win that battle, you know if someone comes and third parties you, you're in trouble. So it's always a good idea to be the third party. Don't forget, you only need 5 kills or assists. And I know it's more fun to get more kills and more assists, but if you're really trying to think how to rank up and get RP faster, focus on those 5 kills or assists that you need. And there you have it. Those are my tips and my advice for being able to rank up faster and gain RP a lot quicker to get yourself all the way up to Predator level. I hope this was useful, and as I said, the thoughts I've shared in this video really will start to apply to you as you move up through the ranks, and when it starts to get tough, that's when you really need to think a bit more about what I've shared in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. By the way, did you know I stream every Saturday at around 7 PM UK time? Most of these I'll actually be playing with anyone that wants to play with me, so you can actually join in with me and we can play some Apex Legends together. So come join me for my next stream on Saturday. I look forward to seeing you there.